Burning Daylight, Not Safe to Drive at Night, Episode 8.
Tree of Tool, which is pretty close, and then it's on the way to Hierve de Agua, which is about an hour and a half away.
Yeah, we got burnt yesterday. We knew better. Had the sunscreen SPS 30 in my backpack the whole day as we were getting fried. We had hats on, but that wasn't enough.
Yeah, the smart people wore sunscreen, and the real smart people brought an umbrella. And we weren't smart or very smart.
No.
But today, we're going to be smart.
Ik vind het wel uit dat wel.
Oh, the tule tree.
The what?
The big tree.
Oh, it's here?
We're going to take an all tour, and the first stop is the tule tree in neighboring town Santa Maria.
Evidently, we're about to go see the widest tree in the world. Like 40 meters wide. This is the widest tree in the world. Just can't believe how incredible this thing looks. And the sad part is, video will not give it justice.
There goes Ricky around the backside.
It is just massive.
Hey, Bob.
That's an awful big tree there.
There's a big tree.
I think more impressive than the width of the tree is just the texture of the tree and just how cool it looks.
Yeah. 2,000 years of growing.
Look how wide that is. Every section of the tree looks different. It's just, and look how wide that is from there to there, and the difference. See how smooth that is over there, and this is how rough it is over here. That'd be a fun tree to climb. I'm sure it'd get you in jail real quick. Our next stop on our tour was a rug fabric shop. It's carved into the chairs. Their employees explained how they spun cotton and wool into thread. They made their dye colors from native plants, flowers, and even parasites. By mixing their main colors, they made even more colors. What fascinated us the most was the little white parasites found on some cactus plants. They plucked one off, and once smashed it, it turned red. It looked like magic to us, so we asked the lady to show it to us again. The white
sea. Crazy.
Next, they demonstrated how they weave the design into the rugs. The image was drawn onto a large sheet of brown paper.
You can see where they trace the drawing onto the string, and then they do their weaving, the different designs.
As our bus pulled in, we saw this dog curled up inside this trash can. I'm sure he'd been just having his lunch. It's okay, it's okay.
We were conveniently parked and paraded through the gauntlet of tourist shops.
Much larger. It's been booby trapped. Some little kid's gonna probably jump up there, climb on it, and it's gonna break. Oh, little kid, I mean a big kid?
So this is the area where they actually buried the people after the funerals. And you can see there's a tomb to go down in there, and people are going down and looking inside. And then they have another one that Bob's in right now. But I can assure you he's alive and well. So far, so good on our Mexico trip. It's a little tight in here. I'm gonna go check out the other one now.
Which way should I go? Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Out the same way which I came in. Kind of makes me feel like a slave or a prisoner back in the Roman times. We popped out in the middle of the Colosseum. And luckily there was no gladiators or lions to fight.
Here we go down into the tomb. Gotta get on my hands and knees. Crawl through here. After the funerals, I guess this is where they buried the dead. So this is underneath the temple.
Up, up, and away! Oops.
Here's where they had the funerals, and they would set the body in the middle of the square there. And then I think they buried him over there.
You can believe this. All these little pieces of stone are hand carved and inserted without grout or mortar.
Because this roof is replica. In Spanish we say replica.
Wow, there's a lot of these little rooms. Got all this decoration and stuff. It's crazy. Oh, man, that was close. Gotta be more careful, Ricky.
Really cool geographic designs, and there were even these rooms, and the whole walls of the rooms were like that.
Ricky says he took some awesome pictures in the dark.
Zampa runs were pretty neat.
Another last passageway following Ricky to the outside where the group is gathering. One small stumble and down you'll go.
So here's the Christian church right next to the ruins. And they actually built it right on top of their old temple, just to kind of show that their dominance, I guess, or that they're the true religion.
So first we're gonna buy you a little bit of mezcal. This is very sweet. Take a little piece. It's like a sugar cane, so just chew it. Don't swallow it, just chew it. So the mezcal is a Nahuatl word. It's a pre-Hispanic word. Mezcal means a roasted agave. So this is the original mezcal. Agave is the plant we need to use to make the alcohol. So look at it.
So we're here where they make mezcal, which is an alcoholic drink, kind of like tequila, except in tequila, more of an industrial process. So these are the agave plants that they use to make the mezcal, and there's a bunch of different kinds. And once they're big enough, they cut all the leaves off, and they take the heart of them over to this pit here, and they have a big fire, and they kind of cook them to get kind of a smoky flavor to it. And here they are after they cook. You can see they have a whole bunch of them. So then at this point they need to break it up into little pieces, kind of pound it out. So they have a big stone and a horse that walks around, and it crushes it, and so they can get it all crushed up. Then they put it in these bins to ferment it, and then once it's fermented, then it goes into the distillery, and then to the bar.
We say salud. If you feel strong flavor, you can take it.
Finest smooth. Should I try one that's more smooth?
We have an orange in it. And we have
The water we use living in the heart of the plant. So we collect the waters in the rainy season, and we put it in mezcal because change the flavor.
This is the fire pit down here where they're distilling all the crushed stuff, and it's going across there, and it's being cooled in this other tank over here, and it comes out at the bottom down here. And then if they want a stronger batch, then they do the process again. They take that liquid, put it over here, and they do it again. And each time they do it, it becomes a stronger batch. And a lot of this stuff they still have here is aged, for up to 8 years.
And oak barrels.
Yep.
And the color changes. It gets a little darker as it ages from the oak.
So you want a drink?
They'll let you try each kind. We just tried one.
They give you oranges. If it's a strong taste, you take a bite of orange. And then they also, some of they dip it in, I think, a chili powder.
Yeah, they said it was like a salt with chili for color, but they said it was chili was not hot.
I don't think they have the rest. Yeah, you want to try it?
I need your help. Not very complex. It's sour chip. It doesn't have complexity. It's a very thin, sharp flavor. It is different, but it hasn't got the complexities of something that's aged. When they have a chance to sit in the barrel, they collect more complex flavors.
Looks like we just arrived at a lunch spot. Buffet. It's about $7 for
All you can eat buffet.
all you can eat. So I got 2 plates. I don't know if the soda came with it, but I got one anyway.
No, that wasn't it, but still a good deal.
Well, they snuck some more cactus in on us. Yep, that's cactus. You see the little spur things on the top? But it's cooked with green peppers and tomatoes and stuff like that. So all together, I didn't notice it till I was about done.
Cactus, the other green vegetable.
And that there is cactus soup. The rest of our buffet today. A lot of chicken, a lot of different kinds of chicken. Gracias. That's our smooth asphalt roads. Palm trees growing on the side of the mountain.
Hierve de Agua.
Mexico. The real Mexico. It's the way I thought Mexico would look. I guess we follow the arrow. This is some interesting terrain. Hey, why's that dog coming this way when everybody else was going that way? Finally got up to see some of our cactus up close. And it's kind of cool. Walking the ridge line. We're here. That must be it.
Here's where Hierve de Agua comes up like a spring, and then it follows this little trail. Here's another place where the water's coming up.
It's kind of pretty out here. I'm really surprised there's not more people.
You gonna jump in, Bob?
I have the baggies on.
And it's a little scary walking along the edge because it does go down pretty steep. I wouldn't want to fall off of there.
Very few people actually swimming in the water. Probably just too cold.
And it creates kind of an infinity pool down there at the bottom where everyone's swimming.
It's a little cold.
That's not bad. It's got a little slime layer on top of it. I think that has something to do with this white calcium looking deposit. Wow, it's a little bit slippery here. How slippery that is. Slip right off and go right on down.
Bikini-foto's.
And there's Bob getting a selfie.
I kind of thought that this would be below us, what we're looking at now. But there's an outlook, and you can see this from the little lake area, spring area that we're at now. See if we can walk over there?
Yeah.
I think we have time if we
Put my shoes on real quick.
Alright.
Cascades. This way. That's probably what that's called, where we were just at. And that's the lip you walk around on up there. Looks pretty cool. Looks like snow. But it's hard as a rock. Because I think it is a rock. But that little rim on the top is kind of wet and slimy, and everybody walks right around the pool at the top edge. And that's the steepest part that you can't see from this angle. Never thought I'd see this in Mexico. Gotta catch up to Ricky. Ricky's later on going to tell us all about that limestone, because I'm sure there's a sign somewhere that he's going to read. It says something to do with calcium leaching out of the water from the minerals picked up by the stream or whatever spring that's causing it to run over and down the side of the mountain. It's probably the same stuff they use in stalactites and stalagmites in the caverns we saw in Florida, and if that's true, it is. Ricky's gonna tell us.
It's like an outdoor cave.
Limestone.
Limestone.
Admire something. Do not destroy anything, I think. Kind of a steep first step, but I think that's where they go. "15 minutes to get wherever we're getting. See whatever we see." I think we're almost there. I think it's just around the bend. We're at the top of whatever we wanted to see, but because of the angle, we really can't see much of it. I tighten my hat. It's a little windy here. Looks like it's wet. It is wet. It's very wet. Might be slippery. Where are you from?
I'm from Canada.
Canada?
What about you?
Florida.
Yeah, we've just kind of been winging it. We started driving in Florida and drove the whole way.
You drove here?
Yeah, we're on our way to Guatemala.
For a month?
I'm gonna be, he's flying back once we get to Guatemala. I'll be there for 5 months.
In Guatemala?
Yeah.
It's just bubbling out of right there. Filling this little pond up and dribbling over the side. God's amazing handiwork leaves you speechless sometimes. Well, I gotta get going. Bus driver said not to be late. little bit sandy.
Those have thorns.
Oh. I made it! But we're still gonna make it back to the bus in time.
Certainly getting our exercise.
Yep. I think these trees are just awesome. A lot of them have thorns on them, so you gotta be careful.
I almost grabbed one to help me up. So earlier we're thinking this might be a shortcut back up, so hopefully it works because we're running late.
And that's where we came from. So we think this is our shortcut back up this way, which is that way, next to the cactus. As far as I know, not the edible cactus, but nothing would surprise me. Nothing.
The only thing that surprised me so far this trip is someone yelling no internet when I was trying to drive through an intersection.
Who would that have been? Someone who wanted to get on the internet, obviously.
I guess so. He was very upset.
Yes, no internet. We want to be true to that 15 fans we have. They like to see us sweating like we are now, breathing hard. See, I'm allowed to. I'm 60 years old almost. He ain't allowed to. That's why he doesn't breathe as heavy as I do.
I am over the hill. It's not over this hill.
Graffitied all over the plants. Hey, they graffitied all over this one too. And since we're late, we're going to stop for a couple more pictures. Oh, there's a couple people from our bus. So I think we're right. And there's our bus up there. Hey buddy, how you doing?